Hannah, do you have any conspiracy theories that you like to follow, or what's your Roman Empire, as the kids like to say these days?
That is such a good question. I don't know. I'm not a huge conspiracy theory person. I'm more so obsessed with celebrities that believe in conspiracy theories. Like, I think Whoopi Goldberg, she thinks the moon landing was fake and is very adamant about that. And I think that's hilarious. Why she does so many other things. Why is this on her mind? She could be doing anything else right now, and she's thinking about how everyone's lying to her. That's so weird.
Wow. Really? I didn't know she was that outspoken about it.
Yeah, I remember I had to do a school project in high school where I had to talk about it. I don't even remember what the project was for, but I had to make a sketch about how Whoopi Goldberg doesn't believe in the moon landing. I don't remember why I did that, but that's just public education.
Yeah. So do you think we actually landed in the moon first, or do you think that China or Russia got there first and we just told everybody that we got there first? Because I know we landed on the moon, but were we the first ones?
I think technically yes, but I remember people were saying could have been Russia, so I honestly have no idea.
I think it was Russia to first orbit the moon, if
yes.
I'm not mistaken, but to first land on it, allegedly,
was the U.S.
Well,
I still feel bad for Buzz Aldrin because, I guess he was supposed to take the first step, and then whatever the fuck the other guy's name is, Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong.
I always get the Armstrongs because there's Louis Armstrong, Neil Armstrong, and then the bike one. Is that
Lance Armstrong?
Lance. Yes.
Yeah, I always get that guy confused with the other guy.
Because Lance sounds so much more like a moon landing
Space
name.
guy.
Right. Neil, that's a guy who rides a bike. What are you talking about? Right. That is not Buzz. That's a space name. Neil. What the fuck? I don't get it.
Weird fact about Neil Armstrong. Neil A for Armstrong. What does Neil A
alien.
spelled backwards? It's alien.
It's alien.
Isn't that weird?
And Lance Armstrong is missing a testicle.
What do you think makes him so aerodynamic?
There you go. He doesn't have all that cum to store. He's just going. He's just racing.
God, can you imagine the productivity men would have if they didn't have to worry about draining that all the time?
Jesus.
That would be, the world would be so different.
We would have solved world hunger 3 times by now.
We would have had flying cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I mean, women can do it too, but.
Well, sure. Of course, yeah.
Just kidding.
But I think the moon landing was a cool conspiracy. Whether you believe it or not, there are also other conspiracies that when they landed on the moon, that Neil Armstrong was looking at aliens, because they were saying that the audio cut out, and he's like, they're all looking at me. And they recovered what he was saying, and it was like, oh my God, they're all looking at me right now. What should I do? And they're like, just act normal, just do your thing.
I think aliens are real.
I mean, they're on the dark side of the moon.
For sure.
You know?
Well, because they've been seeing more UFOs lately in the sky, and I'm like, well, maybe we're just now interesting enough for them to come talk to us. I don't know.
Well, the government recently admitted that UFOs are actually a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember, this is such a niche thing, but do you remember before COVID when a bunch of people were going to storm Area 51?
Dude, yes.
That was so funny. And I feel like not enough people talk about that because it was such a big thing. And then I brought that up to my friend recently. He was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, what do you mean? What am I talking about? This was so pivotal.
Yeah.
It was so important.
There was people camping out and shit. There was people fucking selling merch and shit. Mm-hmm. So there's this other conspiracy that I like to believe that all these conspiracies are made by a person just to sell merchandise. So the January 6th thing, there was this one guy, I forgot what the fuck his name is, that goes around cross country and interviews these little conspiracy people or whatever. He went to go interview the January 6th people, and he said, and there was a documentary about him where he was all these people that I interviewed about the left right MAGA people and the fucking January 6th or whatever, all of them are just to sell merch. They're all at the end of the day, all these people are really vocal about it. They have merchandise they need to sell. And I'm just whoa. So the Area 51 thing, there was a lot of people selling merchandise, and there was a lot of people they couldn't even storm Area 51 because the guards were fucking ready to shoot everyone and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they're controlling the narrative, or do you think they're just profiting?
I think they're just So somebody was all yeah, let's storm Area 51, and somebody was all boom, yes, please store Area 51. I'm gonna go set up next to you, and you guys are all gonna buy Storm Area 51 shirts. Yeah. Or the January 6th thing. Somebody was all oh, January 6th happened. Here's a January 6th revolution shirt or whatever the fuck.
Can you imagine what the reenactment of the January 6th is going to be like in a couple decades?
Oh my
Can
God.
imagine
You
that?
know there's going to be so many just like white like dads just so amped. They're going to have like Nerf rifles. Like it's going to be so
Their
that
buffalo
is-
hats.
I didn't even consider that as a possibility and I'm so sad that I mean, I'm honestly I think that's more fun than January 6th. It's just recreating. I think if we can storm January 6th, we can also storm Area 51. I think that should be the rule. That's how they give the liberals something is they give us Area 51 to storm. I think it's only fair.
Power to the people, you know. Have you ever seen the movie The Bug's Life?
Yes.
You know, like it's just a couple grasshoppers with thousands and thousands of millions of ants, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize the power of uniting together and overcoming something like that.
Oh, for sure, dude.
You know, I mean, if you had 20,000 people go to surround Area 51, I'm not saying we should, government.
I mean, bullets shoot at how fast versus the amount of people that we have. We'll lose a couple of us for sure, but we'll be able to storm them.
But like the prospects they were sending weren't the best. You know, like I saw
Yeah.
some dude doing that like
The Naruto
anime
run, yeah.
That was
it's also-
everyone.
It was popular when I was in high school. So it was a bunch of like high schoolers and college kids
Yep.
going. And I'm like, we're not going to do anything. Like, I think that most we could do is go up to them and say, please, can we go inside?
That's
And
literally
it.
what happened.
Yeah, they just said please, and then they said no, and then everyone was like, all right, whatever.
Let's go buy merch now.
Yeah.
go home. Yeah, all I got was this fucking T-shirt.
Have you guys seen Squid Games?
Oh, yeah,
Do you guys hear that it's actually based on a true thing?
it is. That would make sense.
So there was this, I think in Hong Kong or China. Is Hong Kong in China? Oh, it's either China. I don't know.
Don't
I don't
quote
know
me
my.
on that.
I don't know my maps, but it's some Asian like brother millionaires. They bought an orphanage with all the kids still in it and stuff, and they made it so that the kids couldn't leave and shit. You know, they're an orphanage, so nobody's gonna be looking for the kids. And then they set up the whole orphanage, and they made the kids play these games. And you know, whoever lost. You didn't want to lose, obviously, for obvious reasons. And so the guy that made Squid Games, the TV show, he's like denying all these claims that like, no, it's not based off anything true. But one of the survivors from there was a little kid when they were doing that in like China or whatever. He saw Squid Games and he like was like, this is too close to like what I went through. And so he started speaking out. And you know, Netflix or whoever, they're like, no, it's not true. But there's like people that are like, I was there, bro. Like I saw when that shit happened. Like they have pictures of like what the guards look like in like the actual thing, and then they have pictures of like the actual guards with like the pink suits. They look really like alike, and
Oh,
so
shit.
yeah, there's pictures of that.
I feel like the rich are getting up to too much. Like the amount of things like with like Epstein's Island, like Diddy's parties. It's like, yeah, if they had a Hunger Games in their backyard, like I would not be surprised.
So they do. There's this thing on the black market, and I've seen it, where you go and if you go deep enough into the black market, obviously you have to know how to. But
like the dark web. Do you mean?
yeah, dark web. Yeah, not whatever. Yeah, it's not the
Tomato,
same thing.
tomato.
It's not
Yeah.
the same thing. Whatever. But you go deep inside the dark web, and there's these people that kidnap, you know, people from like homeless people or like people that like have nobody looking for them or whatever, and they abduct them into these like islands or like big factory type things or like or any private land they can acquire, and they make them fight for their life, essentially like a Hunger Games type of thing. And it's freaking wild. So then they give everybody like a GoPro or something like that, and if you know how to get into the dark web, you can look at that shit because they broadcast it live. And I guess rich people go on there and they'll bet on their players and stuff,
Yeah.
like millions of dollars. And
I think
then-
there's like another one called like the Red Room online or something, like the dark web or something, where like people will like put bounties on like certain people and then they'll like live stream the killings too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so weird.
It's nuts, the shit you can get away with if you know how to. When I was in high school, that was when Bitcoin just became a thing and nobody knew it was gonna blow up. But that's the way you were able to buy things off the dark web. And so me and my friends, we were able to get into it because my buddy's a freaking computer nerd. Now he does like cyber tech and shit. But we went on there. We bought $20 worth of Bitcoin, which was nothing back in the day, and we bought a tab of acid just to see if it will show up or not. Worst case scenario, we lost $20. And so the next day, we send it to one of my buddy's address. A couple of days later, we get an envelope with like a little birthday card on it, and like behind it was like a little like piece of tape, and says, you know, acid tabs are like fucking small. And we saw it. It was a freaking acid tab. We didn't know if it worked or not. We didn't take it, but.
That's smart.
See,
It could have easily had acid and nobody, you know.
Yeah, that is so scary. I feel like there was definitely a period of time where I was like, do I go on? And I was like, I don't want to do this. This is
You don't want to go. You don't want to go too deep in it because there was like things that we were like, I don't think I want to see like decapitated heads, bro. Like I'm cool on that.
Yeah.